Yes, here we go. Sportsbit 2.0. Sportsbit Live betting insight today. SBR picks Pauly and Teddy. Thursday, May 10th. At Real Sportsbit on Twitter. He's at Teddy_covers. You know, it's a big day when we're talking hockey, and Teddy has notes. Game 7, Nashville and Winnipeg. Winner gets the Golden Knights. We'll get to the red-hot Yankees taking on the Red Sox, and we'll turn on the shot clock. We got baseball ROI as well, so a big show coming up. How you doing, kid? How are things?
I'm doing all right, dude. Glad to have you back, Pauly. No question about that. Me going solo. Look, I can do solo in a fix, all right, in a pinch. I'm much better when I got you to join me, my friend. So thank you.
All right, you got it. Here we go. Let's start in the NBA. A great game last night. The Celtics win again. They're 7-0 straight up in ATS at home. They win the series in 5. They were 4-1 to win the series. Take back. It was nothing but Sixers money. The Marcus Smart missed free throw was big. Well, made free throw. He tried to miss on purpose. We disagree on this. I still don't think it was a bad beat because he had to miss 2 free throws. If you had Philadelphia, and don't forget Redick hit a 3 from the parking lot with 4 seconds left to put it on 1. But the Sixers led by 4 with a minute left. That was the second time, game 3 and now game 5, they had a 4-point lead with a minute left and lost the game.
Okay, stop. When a guy is trying to miss a free throw, forget the whole game. When a guy is trying to intentionally miss a free throw, and that free throw bounces in, and the fact that that free throw bounces in that he intentionally tried to miss was the difference between covering and not covering, that's a freaking moose, dude. It is.
No,
and
get
even
out of
though
here.
I'm not going to say that Philadelphia was the right side. Okay, obviously they trailed big early. You talked about the Redick 3 from the parking lot. They weren't. It's a coin flip game. But in that situation, okay, you got the best of the number. You got the +1.5 with Philly in your pocket. You shopped around. You waited for the good number. Okay, the other team is trying to miss and trying to lose the game by 1, so you don't have time to bring it up court. That's a perfect scenario. It's a moose, Pauly. It's absolutely a moose. Even though it's not
happens all the time.
One of the worst beats you're ever going to have.
That happens a lot where guys try to miss on purpose and it goes in. It was the right play, too. There's only 2 seconds left. And then the Sixers had to throw the long pass, which was intercepted. Simmons was the Sixers were -63 when Simmons was on the floor. They outscored the Celtics by 48 points in the series when he was on the bench. Still got to play him. He's the future. Learning process. Embiid was terrific, although he missed a bunny late that would have tied the game. Tough loss for the Sixers. Hey, 2 years ago, they won 10 games, so it was a great season, although they were heavy favorites to win this one. But as I tweeted, Brad Stevens, it's like they score every time out of a timeout. They're unbelievable, this guy.
And no Coach of the Year votes for Stevens. Look, Joe. I don't want to be a hater, but it's got to be said about Joel Embiid. Okay, you look at the tweet from ESPN Stats and Info. Embiid 0 for 8 on game-tying or go-ahead shots in the final minute this season, including that 0 for 2 in Game 5. And his 8 such attempts are tied for the most by any player without a made field goal under those circumstances. Maybe it's random, maybe it's not, but Joel Embiid did not come up big during crunch time for Philadelphia in this series. And frankly, over the course of the season, in the final minute, he didn't do his best. Bottom line, game flew over wire to wire. Boston got the money like they did in 4 of the 5 games in this series. Now we move on to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals.
And what do you think? Series prices. Cavs without home court are -250, and the Warriors are up to 195, even though they're dogs in game 1. For what it's worth, the Warriors went 1-5 this year when they were underdogs.
Sure, exactly. So you look at the odds, the tweet from Jeff Sherman last night from the Westgate Superbook here in Las Vegas. And, of course, this is just one book, but these are the basic numbers, right? There was a lot of debate about where the Cavs-Celtics was going to open. I heard Cavs -180. I heard Cavs -300. Ended up landing somewhere in the middle there. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Celtics take a little bit of money, although Cleveland's taken the money for game 1 already. Boston opened the favorite. Now the Cavs are -1. In the other series, Rockets are home favorites in game 1, but as you mentioned, it's the Warriors. Nearly 2-1 chalk to win the Western Conference Finals, despite the fact that they don't have a home court edge. And of course, when you're looking at the championship odds altogether, Golden State's the chalk, and The Boston's still out there at 18-1. Nobody's believing in the Celtics, Pauly,
How about
even
it?
now.
How about it? There was a bad beat in baseball. White Sox plus $1.10 led the Pirates 5-2 in the ninth. Pirates get a 4 spot. They win 6-5. And also, it's going to be tough for the guy who had a $150,000 bet on the Pirates season win total under at William Hill, as they're off to a good start. Bad for the books. The Celtics +1 went off the favorite. They win by 2 with the smart free throw. And the 50-cent move on Big Sexy Cologne. Rangers $1.25 up to 175. They won in extra innings. Also a bet that White Sox game, that rally by the Pirates put the game over the total too.
Yeah, of course. If you're going to have a bad beat, you may as well have it both ways, right? Side and total and run line and all of that. Although the White Sox still did cover on the run line. But you talked about the 50-cent move in MLB yesterday, and yeah, that was at the extreme opener versus the extreme close. But you don't see a lot of that necessarily at this time of the year in MLB. Sometimes you see lines running away, come post All-Star break. Sometimes you see teams, let's say like the Yankees that are on a roll that start to attract a little bit of attention. But 50-cent move on a Rangers game in early May, that's a little random. And, of course, Texas wins in extra innings just to give the bookmakers just one more black eye after the bad result with the Celtics game last night.
How about some bad bets? Huddersfield Town, 18-1 down to 13-1. They just needed a point at Chelsea. They got the big draw. And only the third time in EPL history, the 3 newly promoted teams avoided relegation. Huddersfield, Newcastle, and Brighton. Huddersfield canceled the plane ride home and rented a party bus. They had the crates of beer coming in after the game into the locker room. That was terrific, as they had been called up for the first time since the early 70s, and they stay there with the big point. Arsenal plus 106 went up $1.20 favorite. Lost at Leicester 3-1 the final week of the Prem. Red Sox 150 down to 130. I did not like the decision to bring in Kimbrel with the runners on the corners with 1 out in the 8th. It was a Gardy party. He had a great at-bat with the triple. Yankees win again, cover the run line. KC, Baltimore from 9 over to 9.5 over minus 130. Loser, Mets, Reds over 9.5 to 10, not even close. 2-1 in extra innings. And the Mets blow it. They batted out of order in the first inning. Hasn't happened since 2016.
Yeah, and of course, the Mets were saying, oh my God, it cost us the game. It cost us the game. This was a story. It was like one double with two. It was a 2-out double.
Sure.
That was their offense in the first inning. And the runner got tossed off second base. And they scored 1 run the rest of the way. Mets offense, not exactly clicking on all cylinders. Orioles offense, not exactly clicking on all cylinders. Those 2 totals getting steamed up shocked me a little bit. The fact that Boston opened plus 155 against the Yankees and was bet down to 130. I mean, who's betting on the Red Sox right now in the series against the Yankees? The Yankees are on fire. We'll talk about that later in the show. And as you mentioned, the party bus, that's the best story of the day. Can you picture any U.S. team in any sport saying, yeah, we want to take the party bus home? Hell no. That's something that's unique to the U.K. Of course, distances are shorter, but 3-hour bus ride, 4-hour bus ride with a whole crate of beer. Good times.
You got it.
For the gentleman from Huddersfield.
You got also round of applause, standing ovation for Man City. They record in the Premier League for points, goals, and points, goals, and wins in a season, plus 78 goal differential. Incredible. And they still have a match left. ROI in baseball. They lost last night, but still leading the way. Arizona plus 16 units. Yankees now number 2, plus 10 units, followed by the Red Sox. Yankees 17-1 in their last 18. More on them coming up. Boston, Atlanta, and Colorado round out the top 5. Bottom 5, even with the win last night, still leading the way. Down 18 units on the Dodgers. What a horror show. $100 every game on the Dodgers. You're down 1,800. Baltimore 1,740. Reds 1,600. White Sox almost 15 units. And Kansas City now down 10 units as well. So we'll do more on this coming up. It's been interesting. How about this, Teddy? The Astros have covered the run line in every road game as well. File that one away.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's been a great road team each of the last 2 years, but let's talk about the top and the bottom of these lists very quickly. Arizona, the number 1 team by a fairly wide margin in MLB profitability so far this season. Obviously, they played 12 series. They've won 10 of them, and they had the 2 pushes against the Dodgers. I'm not convinced that the D-backs can play much better than they have. When you're looking for upside teams, we're going to go a little bit further down this list when we get to the shot clock later in the show. When you talk about the bottom 5 ROI teams, I'm like, which of these squads offers some value moving forward? I don't know that any of them do, Paul. You know, I'm not excited about betting the Royals or the White Sox or the Reds or the Orioles moving forward. Yeah. And the Dodgers right now are a freaking train wreck. So among the bottom 5 ROI teams, a lot of times this time of year, I like to isolate. Hey, here's a team that's going to make money over the next month or two. Here's a team that's going to make money over the next month or two. I'm just not seeing that from the bottom feeders in MLB right now. Maybe 1 or 2 of them will. I just don't see it. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.